right. So we're diving into something kind of different today.
Oh,
Yeah, handwriting analysis.
interesting.
So we're going to be taking a peek at this old text that claims it can totally reveal your personality just from your handwriting. Now, full disclosure,
Yeah.
we're not saying this is like hard science or anything.
Right.
But it's definitely fun to think about.
It is, yeah.
You know, like what if those messy grocery lists actually say something deeper about us?
Right, like a hidden code.
Yes, exactly. So have you ever looked at your own handwriting and wondered what it says about you?
I mean, I've definitely wondered why my signature looks so different every time.
Oh, me too. Okay, well, let's start with something simple, like the slant of your writing.
Okay.
So this text claims that if your handwriting slants to the left,
To the left.
it means you're more introspective, like you're holding back a bit. Like, imagine someone writing in a diary, really carefully choosing their words.
Yeah, I can see that.
What do you think, though? Does a left slant really mean you're, closed off?
Well, I think it's more nuanced than that.
Oh, okay.
It might not be about holding back, but more about being focused on your inner world. You know? Instead of being reserved, maybe they're just really deep thinkers.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Right.
It's all about interpretation.
It is. It's like everyone sees something different in a painting, right?
Exactly.
So if left slant is more about introspection, what about right slant?
Right slant.
Yeah.
Well, according to this text, that suggests someone more impulsive
Repulsive.
and outgoing, like they're just dashing off a quick note to a friend.
Right.
Like they value connection and spontaneity.
It makes sense. What about people whose handwriting is straight up and down?
Oh, that's interesting.
Are they just robots?
Haha. No, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Our text says that suggests someone who's ruled by logic, like a to-do list.
Oh, okay, I see.
They crave order and clarity.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can see that. But you know what's really interesting?
What's that?
When someone's handwriting has multiple slants.
Multiple slants.
Yeah, like some letters tilt left, some right.
Oh, wow. What does that mean?
Well, think of a chameleon.
A chameleon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It suggests they're adaptable, blending in different situations.
Ooh, so they can adjust to different people.
Exactly, like they're flexing their slant to match the vibe.
Wow, that's fascinating. But what if the slant is all over the place?
Erratic.
Yeah, erratic.
That's where things get a bit trickier.
Oh, okay.
The text suggests it could point to inflexibility.
Inflexibility.
But, maybe it's more than that.
Ooh.
Could it also be inner conflict or even hidden anxieties?
Wow. Yeah, maybe those inconsistent slants are trying to tell us something.
Right.
Okay, so much to unpack just from the slant alone.
I know, right?
Let's move on to pressure.
Pressure. Okay.
So the text says heavy pressure, like really digging into the paper.
Yeah.
Could mean you're agitated or stressed. I know when I'm overwhelmed, I grip my pen super tight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm channeling all that tension onto the page.
Right. Like a physical release.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think it makes sense that pent-up energy can come out in our handwriting.
Right.
And then on the flip side, moderate pressure could mean you're more balanced.
Balanced, okay.
You can handle stress without getting totally overwhelmed. And then people who write with a light touch,
Yeah.
well, they just seem to glide through life effortlessly.
Oh, I like that. Okay, now I'm thinking about my whole grip on life. Literally. Right, let's talk letter size.
Okay.
What about those people with the teeny tiny handwriting?
Ooh, tiny handwriting.
What's that all about?
Well, our text claims it could mean low self-esteem,
Oh,
but there's another way to look at it.
okay.
It could be a sign of intense focus.
Intense focus.
Yeah, and really high intelligence.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they're not shrinking back, they're just concentrating their brilliance.
I like that. Like those tiny microchips that hold so much power.
Exactly.
So if tiny is like concentrated power, what about just small handwriting?
Small.
Yeah.
That seems to suggest a quiet, introspective nature.
Okay.
There's someone who's detail-oriented, like a meticulous craftsman.
Oh, right, like a watchmaker or something.
Exactly. Precision is key.
Okay, that makes sense. And what about large handwriting?
Large handwriting, well, that's often seen as a sign of confidence
Yeah.
and an outgoing personality.
Okay.
They take up space on the page, just like they might in a room.
So if large is confident, then huge must be.
Huge.
Yeah, like superstar status.
Well, the text suggests it could mean someone who loves attention.
Okay,
Someone with a flair for the dramatic.
right, like a big, bold signature that just jumps out at you.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on to letter width.
Okay.
This one seems kind of intuitive. Wide letters,
Yeah.
open personality, right?
That's what the text says. Wide letters, sprawling across the page, approachable and friendly.
Okay.
Like they're giving you a big hug with their words.
Uh-huh. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
What about narrow letters then? Or are they just being stingy with space?
Well, it might seem that way,
Yeah.
but it could also mean they're self-disciplined.
Yeah.
And they like to keep things contained,
Yeah.
carefully choosing their words.
So not necessarily closed off, but more like intentional.
All right.
Okay, this reminds me of how we connect or don't connect our letters.
Oh, interesting.
What's the deal with that?
Well, unconnected letters, like dancing across the page,
Right.
often mean impulsivity, a creative spirit.
Creative, okay.
Not bound by convention, just like their thoughts.
I love that, like a jazz musician, just riffing.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so what about partially connected letters?
Partially connected, that suggests a blend of logic and intuition.
Ooh, a blend.
Yeah, like they can bridge their thoughts and feelings. Not too rigid, but still connected.
So like the best of both worlds.
Exactly.
Okay, and what about those people who connect every single letter?
Every single one. Well, the text says that suggests a cautious, methodical approach.
Conscious, okay.
Everything's planned, every thought linked to the next.
So like, are they control freaks? Or just super organized?
Maybe a bit of both. It depends.
Right, it's all about context.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about those beginning and ending strokes.
Beginning and ending strokes.
Yeah, like the grand entrance and exit of each letter.
Interesting.
So starting a letter with a curve, what does that mean?
A curve suggests a traditional approach.
Traditional, okay.
Respect for the rules, following a familiar path.
Makes sense.
But then you have those straight beginning strokes.
Oh, yeah. The rebels?
Exactly. Independent, forging their own path.
Love it. What about those final strokes? How do we wrap things up?
Well, a straight final stroke, ending abruptly,
Abruptly.
could mean they're cautious or private,
Okay.
guarding their thoughts,
Right, like they're dropping the mic and walking away.
Exactly.
But an upward final stroke, that feels more positive, right?
Definitely. Upward strokes, ending on a high note, suggest generosity
Generosity.
and a desire to lift others up,
Ooh, that's beautiful. Like they're signing off with a smile.
Exactly.
All right, so we've covered slants, pressure, size, width, connections, beginnings, endings. Phew.
It's a lot.
It is. So can we actually judge someone's personality just from their handwriting?
Well, our text claims that perfect penmanship,
Perfect penmanship.
like calligraphy level, means they're great communicators.
Yeah.
They want to be understood,
Clear handwriting, clear communication makes sense. What about those scribbles that are like totally illegible?
See, Dr. Handwriting.
Aha, exactly. What about those?
Well, our text says that could mean they're more private.
Private, okay.
Maybe even secretive.
Interesting.
Like they're intentionally making their thoughts hard to read.
Right, their own secret code.
Exactly.
Wow, this has been a fascinating deep dive.
Oh, it has.
It's amazing how much we can potentially learn from just handwriting.
It's really fascinating.
But I think the biggest takeaway for me is that there are so many interpretations.
Yeah.
What stands out to you?
What's really intriguing to me is this. If handwriting reflects personality, can we change our handwriting to change ourselves?
Whoa, that's a deep thought.
Right. Like if I start ending all my letters with an upward stroke, will I become more generous?
That's a great question. It's like we're not just writing words, we're writing ourselves.
Exactly.
Well, it's been awesome exploring the world of handwriting analysis with you.
Likewise.
Remember, everyone, we're just having fun here. This isn't a real personality test or anything.
Right.
But I do encourage you to take a look at your own handwriting.
Yeah.
What do you see? What stories do your loops and swirls tell about you?
I'm going to go analyze my signature now.
Me too. All right. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.